say for example, last year I paid $60. This year I'm paying $120 for the same groceries. So, and the sad part is that our pay has not increased.
If you don't have yourself together, then guess what? You won't be able to handle different relationships in the right way.
Biggest thing that won't make me sell my soul is fear. Oh my God.
So that when I get success, I won't lose success.
Yeah, because listen, you know, your future is bright.
Yes.
I don't care what other people think or say.
If you're not interested to me, then I'm not gonna pay attention to you.
Whenever that negative thought comes into your mind, just try and trump it out. I'm not talking about President Trump, but I'm talking about
I'm gonna say probably 80% of people that go to school, they go to school for something they don't want to do.
it's like crazy. Let's chill. Hello, Sunny Bonani, goeiedag. Hola, namaste. Welcome back, Chaplin Chillers, to another episode. Just a disclaimer, you can hear my voice. It's a bit cracking because I'm not feeling great yet, but we're getting there. But I have one question for you guys, is that are you feeling stuck in some kind of way? Are you feeling unmotivated? Do you feel like, your back is against the wall and you can't move forward? Well, you're not alone. Trust and believe. There's many of us who are feeling that way, myself included, because, we're going through a lot as a country.
Yes.
As
or
a nation.
Countries, nations.
As the world. I believe we're going through a recession right now, although they have not really announced it officially, but we are going through a recession. And I'm saying that because we're looking at the cost of living. It's more than tripled. It's like crazy. I'll give you an example of our car insurance. We were paying $400. We're not even paying half that amount now. We're paying double plus.
Yes, good
We're
example.
paying $900 for 2 cars for just car insurance, from $400 to $900. That's insane.
Good example.
And I went grocery shopping today, and the grocery that I usually used to buy for, say, $120 last year has doubled. So, say, for example, last year I paid $60. This year I'm paying $120 for the same groceries. So, and the sad part is that our pay has not increased. The inflation rate is just not in par with what we're getting in.
Yes.
And that's got a lot of people frustrated.
Yes.
That's got a lot of people just living from hand to mouth or just barely making it. And so we're here just to discuss some of these things that are holding us back and are making us frustrated or not being motivated to move forward and trying to, look at other projects that may help us to get out of the rut that we're in. Right. Anything you want to say about that?
Yeah, I believe that's a good example, because all these challenging times, all these situations arise, cause us to do things that we're not used to doing, or doing things that maybe that's uncomfortable, or that's not our normal self. These different motivations that come about because maybe some things is threatening, or we uncomfortable right now because of inflation, because of the fear of losing a job, all these different motivations that's come up. And so I think that was a good example, because if we're not careful, it will cause us to do things that we should not be doing.
Absolutely.
And so,
and we don't want to go the illegal route. I mean,
Yes.
that's just not it. We're going to persevere and push forward the legal way. Because if God is able to do it for other people, He can certainly do it for us.
Yes.
So this episode, we really want to talk about what's your motivation.
What's your
What's
motivation?
pushing you
Yes.
to, even though things don't look like they're moving, or you feel like you are in that season where you're in the wilderness, but what's that thing that's saying, regardless of what's happening around you, I'm still pushing.
Yes.
I'm not going to stop until I make it. I'm not going to stop until I achieve what I intend to achieve.
Yes.
So we want to try and get to understand your motive in doing something.
Yes.
Because if your motive is a good one, no matter what is happening around you, even if things are just crumbling around you, you won't crumble. You won't back down. You will not, give up. You will keep pushing. So what's that why? What's your motivation?
What's your motive? Because it's very important because sometimes, the reason why we don't have success because we're doing it in the wrong motives. Or the reason why things are not happening for us because we have the wrong motives behind it. Because of sometimes these things that come about and we're like, I got to do this because I'm feeling pressure, and so that's why we always got to check our motives. In the scripture, there's a scripture in James that talks about you pray amiss. You pray in the midst, and meaning you praying with the wrong reasons or you praying with the wrong motive, and that's why your prayer is not going through. And so this is why it's very important to check your motives, your motivation at the door.
My motivation is money. Is that good enough? I just want to make the money. That's all. Is that a good enough motivation?
Yeah, but you know what though? It's nothing wrong with.
I want to be comfortable. I don't want to think about the price tag.
Yes, it's nothing wrong with.
That's a good motivation.
It's nothing wrong, but sometimes don't allow money to cause you to do things that cause you to sell your soul, sell yourself, or do things that jeopardize on your values or your beliefs.
I think the biggest thing that won't make me sell my soul is fear. Oh my God! Like, when I look at them snakes, those pythons people have. Oh no! I don't know how they do it. So thank God for that kind of fear of fearing like those evil things.
Yes.
Right. And also just going and doing absolutely anything to make money. I'm thankful that I don't have that kind of drive. I've got the drive to do it the right way so that I'm able to sleep at night. And that's what we want to talk about. Just tune in. If this is you, if you feel like what I've just explained or what we've just explained, join us in just talking about some strategies that will help you to align with your goals and your values in seeing what really motivates us and how we can keep that alive, how we will not allow our candles or our light to burn out. Because listen, your future is bright.
Yes.
I don't care what other people think or say. It might look a bit blurry right now, but listen, they say it's dark before you get to the light.
Yes.
So you're going through a little tunnel right now of darkness.
Yes.
But the light is there at the end of the tunnel.
Yes,
so hang in there. Don't give up. Your time is coming. And it's coming soon, because 2023 is your year. 2023 is our year. 2023 is going to be where we're just going to set ourselves and we're going to jump and we're going to take those risks. We're not going to be afraid. Okay?
Yes.
So tune in. Don't tune out. Listen to the end of the video, because we've got a lot of things to talk about. All right. So at this point, we want to say subscribe to the channel. That's why my voice is going, because it makes me do all the time. Subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed yet. If you like our content, so that we're able to share this with more people. It goes a mighty long way in the algorithmic YouTube streets, you know what I mean? And also share the content if you like to anybody that can be of assistance. And also we really would love for you guys to follow us. If you have not done so personally, you can follow me personally at Lady Season 1 and
yes, and get inspired by LJ. And we encourage you as well to listen to the audio and follow us on the audio platform. It will be seen on the screen for those that are listening, but we encourage you to follow us on these platforms, because this is how we continue to grow the channel, and this is how we can be discovered more. When you follow us, when you leave us a rating, and when you a 5-star rating, when you leave us a 5-star rating, as well as leave a review, let us know, because we do read all your reviews and your comments. This is how we continue to grow the channel. This is how we can continue to put out content that you want to listen to or watch. So we just thank you for subscribing to the YouTube channel, as well as following us on the audio platform. So now let's continue this episode, because we want to talk about, you have to do the inside work first. Before anything, when because we're talking about what's your motivation. And it's very important that we do the inside work. We say it's an inside job. It's very important that we begin to do the inside work. Before you can do anything else, you gotta check it. You got because we don't want to be a public success but a private failure. It's very important that we handle ourselves and begin to check ourselves and begin to
handle our internal affairs.
Yes, handle our internal affairs on the inside of us, with our relationships, with our family, with people we come in contact with. Do you actually, because if you don't have yourself together, then guess what? You won't be able to handle different relationships in the right way. And so it's very important that we do this inside work. And what you say about that, doing this inside work first and taking care of these internals, motivation that's on the inside of us. Because like I said, some people they do things because of money, and they do things and they would sacrifice their family, they would sacrifice their friends, they would sacrifice all kind of people for money, and they would do all kind of crazy things, for different motivations, because they would sacrifice their values and their beliefs, and so because they feel like that's the best way. And
I feel like it's clearing your conscience, right? Because really, if your conscience is clear in anything that you're doing, then you're starting it on the right right foot in this step. And we call that intrinsic motivation, right?
So, inside job, basically, it's the driving force. The driving force behind, everything that we do. It's regarding personal enjoyment, it's regarding our interests, it's regarding our satisfaction. It's that driving force that allows us to be fully engaged. But fully engaged to what? Because if our insides is not right, if our insides is not in order, a lot of times we be fully engaged to things that's not that's not right. And we talk about that inside job, because sometimes with people, they do things. We talked about last week how they had this classism, this socialism. They tune off to certain individuals. Why? Because they motives. They feel like, what, you're not important to me, and that's the interest. If you're not interested to me, then I'm not gonna pay attention to you. And we know that you need to check that out, because everyone should be important to you. So it's very important, and you should be fully engaged in all your conversations and everything that you do, but in everything that you desire to do. So basically, but it is the driving force to do what you do. So do you like to add anything with that?
So that's the inside job, and then we come to the outside job, which is that you shouldn't allow what's happening outside or within your environment to distract you. So once you've worked on your inside, and some examples of working on your inside would be motivation, prayer, being in tranquility, doing what's fun to do. All those things motivate you to push forward, because you become happier. When you're nervous, when you're unclear about your future, then things don't work out, because they say what you focus on grows. So if you're focusing on the negative, even internally, the negative starts to appear on the outside. So we're saying, point 2, don't get distracted on what's happening on the outside, because then that means that your inside is not really right. So go back and work on that inside, so that whatever that comes out then is reflected on your outside. But while the outside is looking at chaos, as you're working within your inside, still don't get distracted, because that's why they say people who do practice the law of attraction, they say, like I said, what you focus on grows. And number 2, fake it until you make it. What that means is that don't act like you got it all. No, okay, don't be fake in a sense that you're doing things that are out of your budgets and stuff like that. No, what it basically means is that don't if let's say, for example, you're living from paycheck to paycheck, don't let it rule you. Don't let it be your leading force. Okay? Tell yourself that this is only temporary, and better is coming, and this is just a phase. So you don't live within your constraints of what you see, of the negativity that is around you, but you try to see the good within the situation that you're going through. I'll make you an example. If you're going through like a struggle and you probably were buying from a good store, for example, Trader Joe's, Whole Foods example, and then you come to a point where things are not going as great, okay? And this is a personal example. I've been out of work for about 2.5 weeks because I'm ill. So because we are self-employed, there's no work, there's no pay, right? So when it's time to go do groceries, do I go to a cheaper store just because there's little left in my back office or in my bank? No, I still continue to go to my Trader Joe's and to my Whole Foods because I don't want to feel the way things are looking. I want to still continue with life as if nothing has gone wrong, because like I said, what's happening inside of you is what will come
out of you.
So try and not allow your external circumstances to frame your future or your now.
Yes, I mean that was good, and because another thing too, you got to be careful with this as outside job, this as extrinsic motivation, because a lot of times we do things because of rewards and praise and all that kind of stuff, and a lot of times it can blind us. And a lot of times we could do things, for, like I said, for the wrong reason, because our inside wasn't right, and we jump into different opportunities because we feel like, oh man, that's gonna work out. When really, if our inside is not right, and nothing on the outside will work. That's why
because we attract who we are.
Yes, we attract who we are. So that's why it's very important to do it.
If you're feeling poor and you think you're gonna attract wealth,
yes, it's not gonna happen.
So that's why inside work is so much important than outside.
Because like I said, that's the law of attraction is very important. Manifestation is very important, because if we're gonna practice the law of attraction, manifestation, and begin to attract the things that we want to see, and begin to attract the things that we speak, and we got to deal with the inside, and then we got to also begin to not get distracted from the outside currents, because a lot of times we are, it's not we human, we flesh. A lot of times certain things motivate us. We want to be praised, especially the Lord, the love language with the affirmation. We want to be affirmed. We want that praise. We look for rewards, and we feel like we're not getting reward, then we lose the motivation. And another thing, and this is the one reason why you have to be careful for these external occurrences, the wars and these different affirmation, because what happened, we don't get it. And what happened if we do it for the wrong reason, and our inside is not working, it's not right, then guess what? We will get burnt out. We will lose motivation. We will want to quit. We will want to give up. Why? Because we depending. Or codependent, so I say codependent or dependent on these external occurrences to happen for us, and when it don't happen, now we get burnt out. Or when we start a business and the business don't go right within 6, like as what we expected, we jump into something because we like, oh man, it worked for them in 6 months, and when it don't happen for us in 6 months, now we get burnt out. Now we want to give up.
That's true. So I think the bottom line of this share is that we need to find a balance between the intrinsic and the extrinsic. I don't know why we're using such big words.
Inside and outside.
Right. And so that, because if there's a balance, then there's an equilibrium. You're able to figure things out along the way. Yeah. Balance is important.
Balance is very important. So we're saying to check our motivation, we gotta be able to identify our motivation on the inside, and then so that we won't get distracted with the outside current, so that we're able to be able to do things in the right frame of mind, be able to attract the right opportunities, be able to not jump into things because we see other people doing something. We're able to be patient long enough
But
and
what
be
if you're
consistent.
somebody like myself who's just an opportunist, number one. Number two, a risk taker. Number three, a chancer. Yeah, I like taking chances. I like taking risks. And I like stretching my boundaries. I like going for the extreme. What happens in those cases?
Yeah, well, like I said, again, you got to know yourself. What's on the inside. There's nothing wrong with taking risks if it's in the right frame of mind. You see an opportunity that works for you. And this is why, we talk about the inside because, like for me, I used to...
Because in Zulu we say, Sibindu yabulala, Sibindu yaphilisa.
Okay, get us the explanation.
Liver, you make me live. Liver, you make me die. That's direct translation.
Okay.
But it just means that, it's the world of the bravest, survival of the fittest. You gotta go for it, or
Yes.
or it's or the boat will pass you by.
Yes, and again, this is very important. Reason why I encourage the DISC assessment, because when you know yourself and you know your strengths, you will understand what's for you and what's not for you. I used to judge, because I'm also the risk taker. I would, if I see something, I'm like, okay, I'm going for it. That was me. And then once I began to understand, because of the DISC assessment, and we do offer the DISC assessment, so if you want to know yourself, you want to be better familiar with who you are and know your strengths and your weakness, we advise you to check the link in the description and take the DISC assessment, because this is why I'm able to focus more now on my strength. Focus and be consistent on the things that I'm good at, and not get distracted from outside occurrences, because I'm the type of person that starts something and quit. And when you do that, because you feel like, oh, it's not working, and when you do that, then you won't be able to perfect the thing that you are working on. You won't be able to affect that thing because you always starting and quitting. So you're not staying with it long enough to become an expert.
So that sounds like, doing things in fear.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like a fear-based motivation.
Yes, fear-based.
When you don't want to feel left out, but at the same time, you're doing things because I'm like, if I don't do it, then I'm gonna be left out. It really messes up the whole equilibrium.
Yes,
right?
Yes. It causes anxiety, it causes stress, because a lot of times, we, especially, for some people, as we get older and older, and we like, oh man, things didn't work out the way it happened or how you planned it. A lot of times we had these dreams, we had these aspirations when we were younger, and then we get to 30, we get to 35. I'm talking about 30-year-olds, and things didn't happen the way it should. And
looking at the clock ticking.
We're looking at the clock ticking like, man, I thought my life would have been better.
Facebook and social media and thinking, oh, people are making, oh my God, I'm left behind.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that, comparison is they say it's the thief of all joy. Because you start comparing, but you don't know that how, first of all, those people got what they got.
Yes.
And I think, I'll make an example of this. It's become a national case. I think almost everybody knows about the Thabo Bester issue in South Africa. This Facebook artist, which I won't say, because we don't want to be flagged by YouTube, who molested women through social media, how he attracted all these beautiful women to be in his corner. And we've seen how they post on their social media this lifestyle that we all want to have. Beautiful houses, beautiful cars, the Instagram lifestyle, the IG lifestyle. But now that we're finding out that they were linked to this person who was a thief, who was a scammer. My point in saying this is that we feel like, oh, I wish I had their lifestyle. But now we're finding out that most of these people got this lifestyle through the wrong means. But when they were first posting, we were thinking, oh, I guess we're not doing something right. How are they getting all this and I don't have? Sometimes what you see, that's why they say all that glitters is not gold. Or all that's gold does not glitter. Sometimes that gold apple is rotten in the inside. So be very careful not to look at other people's lives and wish it were yours. There's nothing wrong with feeling motivated by seeing somebody or inspired by things, but don't feel like you failed yourself when you're not at that level. Because like Steve Harvey usually says, success comes in different phases. And I love what Sherry Shepherd says. She says it gets better later. You know, for some of us, some people, it gets, you know, they start their success at an early age, and then maybe at a later age they lose it all. You know, and some, they work it all out in the beginning, and then later when they all matured and seasoned, and things start to blossom. And because they were trusting the process as well. Don't rush it. It's hard, I know. It's hard to be in that dark season. It's hard to keep pushing and fighting and trying this and trying that, and nothing is breaking. But I want to assure you that just hang in there. You know, keep that fire burning inside of that motivation. If it means you have this one particular person who is where you want to be, follow them. You know, try and learn from them, but don't try and have their life, because you don't know the demons that they had to fight against to be where they are. You've got your own demons to deal with, right?
Your own warfare.
Your own warfare. So be motivated, be inspired, but don't try to become somebody else.
Yes, and I would like to add too, because she said a mouthful, but here's the thing. You know, your journey is your journey. You know, and so that's what you gotta understand. Your journey is your journey. And if you continue to get the foundation right, and this is why you got to work on the inside. If you continue to work on that foundation, to work on, you know, why you're doing what you're doing, and you do that regardless if it takes 10, 20, 30 years, if it happened later on in your life, and you stay focused on your journey. And you continue to build that foundation to be sure. You know, the Bible says those that are planted on a sure foundation, when the storms come, the rays, all the things, the distraction, you won't be shaken. Why? Because you planted on a rock. You planted on a sure foundation. And so when you plant it on it, this is why we talk about the inside jar, because a lot of us, our inside is rotten. You know, it's rotten, you know, and so when we get that foundation right, you know, we understand that foundation, you know, we won't get distracted, because like I said, it could take time. That's our journey, that's our experience. But guess what? Because regardless if it takes 10, 20 years, 30 years, we gain experience. We becoming more seasoned,
resilient.
We have more to talk about and more to teach on, that we can help other people to come out. You know, and so you got to, and that's the thing, you got to focus on. Okay, this is my journey, because they might get it. That person might have got it fast, but we don't know why they got it, how they got it. They could have got it for the wrong reason. They could have sacrificed whoever to get there. They could have they could have connived. They could have stolen. They could have done all kind of things to get there. Or they could have did it the honest way. We don't know that, but that's their journey. But our goal is to focus on our journey and make sure that we do things on the right way, that we make sure that we know ourselves and like, you know what, this is my journey, and guess what, we eventually get there. We don't give up. If we stay consistent and don't do things for fear-based, the Bible let us know that, you know, he don't give us the spirit of fear, but love, power, and a sound mind. And so we don't have to fear of missing out. We don't have to feel, oh, I'm missing my time. No, you haven't. God knows where you're supposed to. The Bible tells us He has a plan for you. Plan to get you an expected end. He knows exactly what He's doing. It might seem long to you, but in God's sight, 1,000 years is one day to hell. It might seem like a long time, or it might take but He has a purpose for everything they're doing. And guess what? When you in your journey and you're able to do things on the right motivation, can I tell you something? You don't miss out. Why? Because the Bible let us know He give you double for your trouble.
That's right.
He give you double for your trouble. And so we talking about this fear-based motivation, this FOMO, fear of missing out. If you know, if you're like, oh, I'm getting too old. Yeah, you're getting too old. You know, but guess what? They say age is like wine. It's timeless. You know, he can return the clocks back, you know, because your latter years can be greater than your former years and all that. It gets better later. Why? Because you got some experience with
and
them.
wisdom.
And some wisdom. And guess what? Because the reason why sometimes things don't happen early on, because if he gave it to you and you had the wrong motivation, then guess what? You're gonna lose it anyway.
Yeah.
So I'd rather have the right motivation, have the right spirit, have the right heart when I'm doing things, and get it that way, so that when I get success, I won't lose success.
Yeah, I just want to touch on as well on the couple of things that you should look out for when this fear-based motivation
yes.
is creeping on you. One of the things is recognize that self-talk.
Yes, negative self, and that's big. That's the reason why we don't. A lot of times we don't get what we deserve because we have this negative self-talk, this limited belief, this self-doubt. And
what are you saying to yourself? Everybody speaks to themselves. I think my husband does it more than everyone.
Yeah.
But everyone speaks to themselves. I was speaking to my car yesterday. I was like, if you listen here, you know, like we speak, because at the end of the day, it's all the universe. And the universe is ears.
Yes, it has ears.
You know, be it the air, the wind, the trees, the universe, everything, it has ears. And it can hear. And even yourself, because you remember you are 3 in 1.
3 in 1, yes.
And when you speak with your voice, that inner person is listening as well. Your soul is listening to what you're saying. So it's important to speak good things to that person, to not inflict doubt and fear. And you know, I went to fix my car the other day, took it in for service, and this guy was telling me all these things of how the car is gonna. And I'm thinking, Lord, this man is just instilling fear in my life.
And cause you to like feel missing out. Like, if I don't do this today, today's gonna happen. That's fear.
And I'm telling you, the first 2 days driving that car after the service, because I wasn't able to do some of the things he was enforcing me to do, I was so fearful. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. And I started, you know, self-talking myself and get out of it to say, listen, you're not gonna die. You know, God got you. You're covered by the blood. Yeah. Even if whatever that He's spoken, we cancel it in the name of Jesus.
In the name of Jesus.
Because, you know, sometimes we listen to the external forces and we believe them.
Good stuff.
Right?
Yes.
It's like when you go to a doctor and they give you a report. Yes, they've been trained to give you certain scientific reports. But if you're a child of God, you know whose report to listen to, right? You listen to God's report no matter what it looks like on paper.
Yes.
Because He can change any circumstance. So that's what we're saying to you today. Just, you can change your circumstances by what you think of yourself and what you're saying about yourself. So get rid of those negative self-talk. I'm not good enough. Oh my God, I'm too old. Oh my God, this person has now gone before me and done things before me. Yes, in the flesh it feels painful. It's so painful. Like, we want to have kids so badly. And seeing other people have kids, even people who are younger than us, it hurts.
It hurts.
That, Lord, why are you giving it to somebody who's not even married? You know, somebody who wasn't even looking to have kids. Somebody who's not even wanting to, they don't even have the means to take care of those kids. It hurts. But then you come back and say, Lord, your timing is perfect.
Your timing is perfect.
You know, Lord, we know that you know why there's a delay. So that turn that negative self-talk into positive. Whenever that negative thought comes into your mind, just try and trump it out. I'm not talking about President Trump, but I'm talking about trump it out with a positive talk.
Yes, and I want to add a quote. There's a quote out there, and I'm gonna paraphrase because I don't know word for word, but it says, if you think you're successful, you're right. If you think you're not successful, you're right. So whatever you're thinking, you're right.
You're right.
And so, you know, if you're thinking, if self-thought, if you continue to speak that negative self-talk, then it's going to be right. You know, the Bible say, you know, you're going to reap what you sow. Death and life is in the power of the tongue. And so you have the right to choose how you're going to speak and what you're going to speak into your life. And so when you begin to speak negative or have that negative self-talk, then guess what? You're going to receive that negative self-talk. And that's why things a lot of times don't work out in our favor sometimes, because you need to check what you've been saying to yourself at night during times of bad times or difficult time. What you're saying to yourself, are you speaking? And that's why I love the scripture, because it gives us a lot of different encouragement words and motivation to begin to ponder upon. One of them I love, one of the scripture is, it said, think on these things, whatever lovely, whatever good, because God knows, Jesus knows that, sometimes things gonna happen. Crisis, situations gonna arise that's gonna be negative, and you gotta begin to have the right frame of mind to begin to push past, to begin to push past your negative situation. Because if you don't push past it, and you continue to have this negative self-talk, then you will never come out of your situation. And so, even though we pray for children, but we continue to stay positive. We don't listen to the naysay, the negatives, the haters, or whatever. We continue to stay positive and understand that our journey and it's our journey, and guess what? Eventually, it's going to happen for us when we continue to be focused and to continue to have that positive self-talk.
Yeah. So other things is that you must look out for when these negative emotions come your way is identifying the triggers. What's triggering you to feel less of, checking your physical reactions to those triggers. What are you doing? Are you the type of people that will start screaming,
slamming doors,
start hating, and stuff like that, and then you analyze your behavior,
talking bad against people,
on how to change the things that you're doing that are not benefiting you, because you're lowering your vibration.
Yes.
When you start reacting negatively to what's happening around you, your vibration lowers, and as it lowers, everything else goes bad. That's why negative people like saying, oh my God, it's not raining, it's pouring. Yeah, you're right. You're right. That's what's going to happen, because that's what's happening in here. It's happening in here. So it's going to happen around you. Yes. So ask yourself why, whenever you feel unsure. Why am I reacting this way? Why? What did I do incorrectly, or how did I respond to the universe that's making it respond back to me in this way? Because one thing about the universe, it's unbiased.
Yes, it's unbiased.
It doesn't care who you are.
Yeah. It don't know color.
It don't know
color. It don't know nationalities. It don't know religion, bank account. It don't know nothing. It's unbiased.
It just listens to your energy.
Yes.
What energy are you putting out there? That it's gonna retaliate whatever that you're giving it.
Yes.
Right? That's why I always say whatever that you say first is. Because that's what the universe takes and runs with. You can't say, I was joking. That's why even with our jokes we have to be really careful, because the universe can't take jokes.
Nope, can't take jokes.
It takes the first thing that comes out of your mind, out of your mouth, out of your actions. So watch that.
And that's another thing too, just thinking of what you say about, it's unbiased. The scriptures say he ran on the just as well as the unjust. Why? Because he unbiased.
Yeah.
If that person having positive self-talk, he living the principles, he doing all the things in the right way, maybe in your eyes he's ungodly or she's ungodly, but she following the principles, and she had this positive manner, and she's speaking in a positive way, then guess what? The good thing is going to happen for that individual, because why? He reigned on the just as well as the unjust. Absolutely. And so go ahead.
Absolutely. On that note, I'd like us to talk a little bit about the community that you can be part of, so that you can get more of these nuggets that we sharing with you, because we want to build a community.
Yes.
It's not just about us sharing these nuggets and just forgetting about you guys. We want you to be involved. We want you to grow. That's the whole point we started this podcast. So you want to just talk a little bit about it?
Yeah. So this podcast was sponsored by Next Opportunity Window, and like she said, I love the thing that she said, because this is how we grow. This is how we develop. This is how we able to share ideas and begin to come together and with like-minded individuals, and we all, because everyone can win. everyone can win, and when we all have the same motivation and be willing to help somebody else out, then you will win. The Ziegler said it best: you help more people get what they want, then you will eventually get what you want. And so this is why we have the community. And I would like to ask you, are you ready to take your life to the next level? The next opportunity window community is where you need to be.
Yes.
If you're that individual that's ready to take that next level, ready to to join like-minded individuals who share the same interests, that have the right motivation, then this community is for you. Because we're not for everyone. We're not for unselfish people. We're not for people that's about themselves and have the wrong motives and don't want to help out with anyone and have this classism. But we are for those individuals who want to help other people out. And this, we say, if you're that individual who's want to help people out, then this is for you. This is where growth happens. This community is where growth happens. We are a group of high energy individuals who are dedicated to helping each other achieve their goals and dreams. So we let you know, and we want to tell you to join us now. And let's make the impossible possible together, so that we're able to be able to begin to do things with the right motivation, begin to achieve great success. Why? Because we're doing it as a team. I like to say this: collaboration beats competition. When we're able to come together and we're able to build together and we're able to grow together, then guess what? We all can win.
There you have it, folks.
We all can win.
There you have it.
Yes.
So we're just going to move on now and talk about the social influences that lead to motivation. And it mostly social influences is driven by the desire to connect with others.
Yes.
Belonging to a group or making a difference in the world. This type of motivation is a strong driving force. I would say, I'm a social influencer. I love influencing people socially positively, and because I just like to bring positive change. And I understand that what I do or portray on the outside, people are watching, and I want when people watch me, they feel positive vibrations coming their way. They feel a positive change coming their way. Because no matter where you are in life, somebody's looking up at you and thinking, I wouldn't mind being that person. They don't know what's happening around you or inside you, whatever, or the circumstances that got you to where you are. But somebody is looking up at you and saying, I would like to be like that person. So I try to walk as a role model wherever you go. You might not be where you want to be, but it's taking one step at a time. You'll eventually get there. But just remember that people are watching. People are watching. And if you are in a position where you want support from other people as well, or you're running a business, people want to support somebody who's been through it as well and come out. So just try and look out for those things that will make people doubt you in the socials.
Yes. And another thing I want to add too, because sometimes our social influence causes us to do things, and do things because we doing it for other people. Or sometimes we join different groups, a different community, because we feel like, I'm only joining because I want to see what they can get out of me, but we don't have the right frame of mind and say, I want to join that, so that I can be a blessing to that community, so I can be a blessing to that group, or I can add value to that group. We're only doing it, joining something or joining a group because it's what's in it for us. What's in it for us, and not, trying to be in it because it added value. Or a lot of times, we do things for external pressures. Like, for example, if your father and mother went to a certain school, right? Now they expect you to go to the same school. That's external pressure. External influence, because now they feel like oh, you have to go to the school because I went to the school and I want you to go, but you don't have no interest in the field that they study. So that's like in social influences that's like impacted negatively because it's something that you don't really want to do. It's something that you really don't believe in, but because you feel pressure because mom and dad is saying, you know what, you should do this, and now you feel pressure to do because to please, yeah. So and so this is why we it's very important to begin to check these social influence and so that you're able to begin to get around positive people, begin to find the right group or the right community that would be a benefit and a blessing to everyone because everyone can win.
Absolutely. Yeah. And in all that, you want to just say, try to find your why. What pushes you to do certain things? Because finding your why is the only motivation that will get you to where you should be. And they always say, if your why is strong enough, nothing can come between you and your goals, right? So we really wanted to help you identify those personal values and beliefs so that you start setting realistic goals, right? Yes. And we always say we don't do resolutions, we do goals that are realistic, that are achievable. And then you start creating a plan of action that will align with your values and your beliefs.
And also seek out like-minded individuals. That social thing that we're talking about. You want to identify your beliefs and values so that when you join the group, when you understanding your why and why you're doing things, you're able to seek out the right group. You're able to attend the right school and get the right major. Because a lot of times, I'm going to say probably 80% of people that go to school, they go to school for something they don't want to do.
Not necessarily. I wouldn't say not want to do, but I will say you go to school and do what your environment has
pressure you?
No, not pressure.
Okay.
Influence,
yes, influence. That's that social influence in it. And so, that's why,
That's why most people who are around doctors end up becoming doctors. Whether they like being a doctor or not, but they end up becoming doctors. People who are scientists and who are around scientists end up becoming scientists, teachers becoming teachers. That's why you'll find a whole family will be like, it's a full house of teachers. Not because all of them are passionate about teaching. But because that's what they know.
Yes.
That's what they were influenced in doing. And so sometimes that can be a bit dangerous.
Yes, it could be.
Because now you're following other people's dreams or other people's aspirations instead of following yours. That's why you find yourself frustrated.
Yes.
Because you're doing something that was really not your passion, but because mama did it, grandmama did it, auntie did it, so I guess it's my path too.
And you begin to hate your job. And you begin to hate the things that you're doing because it's not your passion. And this is why we got to begin to identify our values and our beliefs so that we're able to go down the right path. We're able to choose the right major in the right field, something that we're passionate about, something that we want to do, something that fits our purpose and align with our purpose and our why, so that we don't feel burnt down, feel frustrated and feel like we want to give up and feel like, why I'm doing this and, hate doing what we're doing and, getting in the wrong group and the wrong community and all these different things. So yes, we have to begin to identify our why and begin to identify our goals and values so that we seek the right help and get in the right group and begin to understand our why a lot clearer. And so we say thank you,
Yeah, and just check your motivation. Check why you're doing something.
Yes.
And we wish you all the best because we know you're capable.
Yes.
And you're able.
You're capable and able.
Just keep pushing. Don't
give
up.
Don't give up. Just make sure.
You've come too far.
Yes, you come too far. And this podcast was just, just to begin to, to help you to begin to identify your motivation so that when you begin to start on your journey, you better check yourself. You better check your motivation. You better check your purpose and why you're doing what you're doing. See if you're in the right frame of mind, to see if you're in a negative frame of mind, to see, if you're in the right spirit, or, begin to align yourself with the right motivations so that you begin to have success in your life. And that's why we did this podcast today, so that we can begin to understand our motivations, so that we don't do things for the wrong reasons. And so we want to say, if you enjoyed this podcast, you want to check out the next podcast that we have available for you, because we are here to help you win. This podcast we're a self-improvement podcast, and we're about helping you improve and to become the best version of yourself. So check out the next episode that we have available for you, and we say thank you, and we'll see you on the next video. Take care.
Hasta la vista.
Bye-bye.